Okay. All right. Now, let's try this again. Good morning. What's up? What's happening? How's everybody doing? Welcome in. Love you too, sweetheart. Drive safe, babe. I'll call you. Good morning, good morning. My apologies, everyone. I left out without being fully prepared. I did not have my mic on. I have it on now, however. Welcome in. This morning, we are on our walk. We are on our talk. We will be focusing this morning on margins, people. How to determine your life margin, what it is, how to track it, and how to use it to track your growth and accelerate your growth. I'm Oloropo. It is Friday morning here, United States, Labor Day weekend. Thank you for being here. We have Discipline, Marie and Priyana. Welcome, Marie and Priyana Bird. Thank you for being here, babies. Whatever life brings. Hi, how are you doing this morning? Welcome in. It's me, 9923. Good morning. Rise and walk indeed. Welcome in. Thank you, guys. If you could do me a favor, guys, when you check in, make sure you put in where you're checking in from, what time of day it is, where you are, and join us. Please join us this morning so we can make the most of this walk and this talk. I don't know why my camera keeps wanting to look at the sky. I don't know what it thinks it's tracking by looking up there. But again, welcome in, guys. Thank you once again, top of the morning. Motivations, congratulations, and good whatnots this morning. All right, guys, so as I said again this morning, we are talking about margins, profits. Let's get started, however, with getting motivated. Let's get our day going. If you're up, you need to get out, you need to get to work. Let's do it. Let's do our thing. Let's find out. Let's remember what our purpose and our goals are, what we're working towards. Let's put in that time and that effort. Let's start to do the things that we promised ourselves we'd do to receive and achieve the things we want to achieve. It's a daily grind. It's a process. Let's get to it, guys. So everyone, thank you so much for being here, being a part of this walk and talk, and being a part of community. As always, please check in with where you are, what time of day it is where you are. Love to hear from you guys, have you participate. If I'm your wake-up call, again, today is the 29th of August. It is a Friday. It is Labor Day weekend here in the United States. So, that means it's a 4-day weekend for those of us who gets holidays off. We have Stephen, Fort Wayne, Indiana, 4:36 a.m. Welcome in, Stephen. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for checking in. Oh, guys, just to let you know, I am not AI. I am also, this is not a recorded stream that was recorded at a previous date and being posted today. This is, I know those are some of the things that are current concerns. This is not something that I recorded in the middle of April, and now I'm out here trying to pass it off. This is today. It is live. We are doing this walk and talk. Thank you guys for being here. We're going to be talking about margins, how to change your life, how to be able to take the same income you have and achieve different outcomes, and then accelerate your growth, because money is literally just a reference to freedom, and freedom is the ability to go and be where you want to be, when you want to be, with who you want to be there with. So thank you for being here this morning. Is that Ajir? Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Thank you very much for stopping in this morning, Ajir. God bless you. Guys, little look from the top of the hill. And I am back. Ryan, is it gay in here, or is it just me? Stephen, where are you from? Me or Ryan? Stephen, I'm from the United States. I am here in Maryland. I'm on the East Coast of the United States, getting ready to celebrate this Labor Day weekend. Some exciting plans for myself and the family to get out and enjoy this, what we refer to as the last weekend of summer, people. Taking in the experience and appreciating the time that we have with each other, the amount of time and the activities that we could share. Yeah, you, not him. I was just kidding, Stephen. I was just kidding. Yes, sir. Thank you everyone again for being here. Thank you for getting up this morning and being ready for this talk. As you know, our channel focuses on finances, fixing finances, but first we focus on discipline. There is no way to fix any level of your life, to change or to truly master any level of your life without discipline. A lot of times we can start to use discipline, and then we get to a certain point and we're like, okay, I'm happy. And then it just turns into like repetition. Doesn't mean that you're going to be a failure. It just means that you're kind of capped out what level you're going to be at. And so oftentimes we think we have to be great in this one thing that we're doing, not understanding that discipline allows for us to grow and be beneficial in a lot of different areas. And today, the area we're going to focus on is going to be on margin, your life margin. What is your profit margin in your life? Okay, so it's pretty easy calculation to figure out, and then there are different levels, right? So in the survey, in the poll, you can see I asked about your life margin. What it is it 0 to 10%, 11 to 20%, 21 to 30%, or I don't know, I don't care, right? So which one is it? So Circle of Life says, I am from my mama. How about you? Yeah, Circle of Life. Yeah, I can, me too. So here's the thing where we have, as I say, when we focus on discipline, discipline is the thing we're going to apply to achieve this life margin. Steven says 0 to 10. Raheem said, what the hell? So 0 to 10 is going to put you like basically at survival mode. We have to also account for taxes, especially if you're working a 9-to-5 job and you're not doing much investing. So what that means is essentially you take your, I should have put the calculation in the description. I'm not sure if I did, but the way you calculate it is this. You take your take-home pay, you take how much money you take home per month, per year, per week, however you want to calculate it. You then subtract from that the expenses that you've had for that same period, what the cost of your life has been for that same period, and then you divide the remaining amount by your paycheck or by your take home, right? What this is going to do is it's going to give you back a percentage. You'll get a point something, 0.23 or 0.13, 0.5, 0.05, whatever it is, that's your profit margin. And it's basically saying that for your life in this time period, you've been able to bring back or you've been able to hold on to this amount of money, right? So you can then multiply your current income by that percentage, and you can see over any given period of time how much money you should be bringing back from there. Now, why is profit margin important? I believe in living your life like a business. If you live your life like a business, you give your life a purpose. You give your life a mission statement. You give your life a goal. Your design is to continue to grow and to develop. It's not just to exist. Once you start to do that, it'll change the way in which you engage and make decisions. Those things will in turn have an impact on your behaviors, the people who you're around. All types of things in your life are impacted by that. The darkness of games. America is a business. I agree with you. Thank you to the Greater Conversation. Greater Conversation says, sorry to hear you're homeless at the moment, Stephen. Is that what I said? Did I miss that? Homeless right now. Okay. Stay in here. We can talk about that. Raheem says, like a man, we discipline plus consistency plus hard work. That's the only way. You want the work to become easier, but yes, discipline is hard work. It is the challenges that we build. I have a plan. Yes, I'm working on it. That's awesome. And discipline is how we do this, right? And so we have to start to take steps. We have to apply them. And specifically what we're talking about today is your profit margin, setting your life up as a business, looking at and monitoring the things that need to be monitored, and giving them a specific requirement and expectation. Because if our expectation is that we're going to, or if we have no expectation, we don't know when we're meeting it, right? I just did, I'm working on a video about the difference between being busy and being productive. And the reason this is important is because when we don't have any expectations, when we don't have a goal, when we don't have something measured that we're trying to do, we just do work. We stay busy, and it's not all going towards achieving that goal. Those things we're doing are not moving us closer to the goal. For example, me in the kitchen cooking, I will do so many things, but every piece of the meal will be done at a different time. I can guarantee you, you're gonna have to microwave your plate. Like, it's gonna all be good, but it's gonna all be singular. Like, it's like I'm not getting any of these things done at the same time. I understand that. My wife, on the other hand, she cooks, she gets everything done. It's all hot or cold the way it's supposed to be. Kitchen's clean, dishes away, everybody can sit down to eat. All right, congratulations on that. I am not able to reproduce that at all in any way, but those are some of the things we talk about when we look at the difference between being busy and being productive. That matters when it comes to your money. I'm gonna check in with this chat real quick. Greater Conversation, good day. Blessed says, stay in God's word every day, and his word's a good day. Goomba, remove the chat. Blessed Love says, hello, my brother in Christ. Hello, how are you doing, Blessed? Homeless means spending more money on basic needs simply to survive. That is from Gears. Rocky says, hi, I'm from Indonesia. Welcome in from Indonesia. Darkness says, straight up lies, Gears. Get any job, save up 2K and live in your car. Gears, I'm homeless too. Just landed a full-time job yesterday. Okay, now we're talking. Darkness, save every penny. Buy a car, live in it, and save up. Keep grinding and get an apartment. And then we have Tori who says, hello, much love from Kansas. Welcome in, Kansas. I am in, I hope everyone's having a great day. I'm here in Maryland on the East Coast. Thank you for being here. So guys, let's have a talk. Let's talk. We have a couple of people in here right now. We're saying, hey, I'm homeless, right? Not my situation. I go on these walk and talks in the morning. BB, welcome in, nice. Raul, should've, what? Welcome in, guys, thank you for being here. So, we have a couple of people in here who are saying they're homeless. Here's the thing. When we talk about being homeless, I never prescribe specific actions to any person, right? Like, I can give you, like, everything I share with you here is general. And the reason it's general is because if we want to figure out what you need to do, right? We want to figure out how we're going to help you progress and help you grow. We need to know more about your situation, right? I don't know if you need to get a car. I don't know if you need to get an apartment. I don't know enough about your situation. So for years, I can honestly say, you're saying you're homeless. For earlier in the chat, there was another brother who was also saying that he was also homeless. That's Stephen Knoll. And so for Stephen and for years, BB says, I live in my truck. For all of you guys, right? For everyone involved here. This is why this current conversation applies to you in a general aspect, but the specifics have to be for your situation. Here's the thing. If you want to move from where you are to the next level, it's going to take some work on ourselves, right? So I know I've been homeless. I've been literally on the street, both as a child and as an adult. I've slept at rest stops. I've worked all day and showered in gyms, and I understand what it feels like to be in that space. And I understand what it means to eat a meal, work at a place that serves food, and just eat when you're at work, hoping that they allow for a free meal on your shift, picking up every possible shift, working from open to close, trying to find a way to dig out of this hole that I found myself in. And this is the crazy thing, is whenever someone says dig out of a hole, it's crazy because you can't, because if you dig, you're making a hole deeper. So we have to climb out of the hole, right? So we have to get the right mindset. We have to get the right expectations and expression of behaviors to achieve any goal. So that starts with us making having some understanding and then developing discipline. This is why I always talk about discipline, is because discipline is going to be the way to get there. Once we start developing that discipline, we can apply it to anything and we can start to see that growth, right? And so if you got $2,000, yes, we need to start to build up a cushion. We need to start to build up a reserve. How long can I live in my vehicle? Can I make money from using my vehicle? Do I need to buy a house? How much space do I need? Do I need to get an apartment? If I do, when? Why am I getting an apartment? Is it for me to be more comfortable? Or is it because everyone in the world says I need an apartment? Maybe I should be living in a hotel. Maybe I should be living in a rooming house. Maybe I should, like, whatever, like, what can I handle? We have to be self-aware, self-accountable. But I don't know your situation. I don't know where you are. I don't know what's available to you for you to make those changes. And so I'm not going to make recommendations without having an opportunity and sit down and speak with you. But I do know this, regardless of where you are, regardless of what you try to do, regardless of what direction you're going in, if you want to achieve, it's going to take discipline. Discipline starts with repetition. Repetition is simply saying that I need to show up. I need to grow my skill in whatever it is I'm doing. I need to keep doing that until I get better at it. I need to be patient while it's happening so that I don't believe I should be somewhere I'm not and then overwork myself or hurt myself in the process of trying to achieve. And then I need to have consistency. Consistency is when I make a plan and I start to build. This is why I can't give you specific advice on how to not be homeless, because I need to know what your purpose and your why is. I need to know what you're working towards. I need to know what it is you're trying to achieve. When you figure that out, Everything else is on the consistency plan. You apply discipline and you work towards it. Like if you want to get land, don't save up $2,000 to rent an apartment. Save up 10 grand to buy some land. Those are the types of things that we want to consider. Those are the types of things that we have to try to figure out. What's my time frame? Where's the work that I'm doing? Can I make my money grow faster? Should it be invested in something? Should I have it in savings? How do I manage my costs? And for most people, regardless of the income level, they find themselves in survival mode or in comfort mode, right? Where they're just about like somewhere between 10 to 20% profit margin, and that allows for them to live comfortable and not have to worry about the bills. It allows them to know, hey, all of my bills are made, all of my bills are paid, I can go out every once in a while and enjoy myself. We want to move from that. We want to move into growth mode. We want to get at that 30% point. And the reason we want to do that is because the whole concept of money is about being able to have freedom. It's about being able to go where you want to go. I'm walking through sprinklers, people. Where you want to go, when you want to go, with who you want to go. Those are the things that are going to be important and have value. Johnny Price, I love being in survival mode. It allows my natural instinct to come out. I don't have bills. I don't know what that means, Joshua. ZZ, Lion Dad, yes, it takes work on yourself. I'm sorry for our homeless brothers and sisters that society has failed you. Let me see. It is basically right for you as a human to have a roof over your head and a belly full, right? Daniel said, yeah. And Whitney Houston said, crack is whack. Why, Daniel? Why? Like, we're having a good conversation here. Darkness said society didn't fail them. They failed themselves. We have access to internet and it makes it so easy to make a living. Steven said, I also have an alcohol problem and that's why I'm homeless. I'm working on going to rehab. Everything I have, some court cases, so there are things, right? So there are so many things. Hey, Sweaty, how are you doing? Welcome in, thank you for being here. There are so many things that are important, right? Big, how are you doing? Welcome in. Joshua says, it's great to be homeless, no responsibility, no bills, no taxes, living on the beach in Cali and loving life. That's you, Joshua? That's your life? Well, then you are already in that mode. You have to understand you're not in survival mode. You've already upgraded your life and you are in the complete freedom mode. See, everyone thinks that it's actually about the finances, and I keep trying to explain that it's not. It's about the life you want to live, because all you're going to do with the money is buy your freedom, is buy the life you want. If you want to live on a beach in Cali and you want to do backflips down a hill and you want to stay suntanned and you want to just enjoy your life that way, go live on the beach. The term beach bum didn't come from anywhere. It's an entire lifestyle. I'm not telling you that's not right for you. I'm telling you that you've already moved into the growth mode. This is where you want to be. This is the life you want to live. That's why I say I am not going to give you specific information on the things you need to do next without being able to sit down and talk to you. I do know whatever life you're living, you got there in a way. You arrived there some way. So even for you, Joshua, if you're living on the beach and you're enjoying it, hey, Ryan, welcome in, brother. If you got to the beach and you're enjoying where you're at on the beach and living on the beach and being present there for your life, it still took work for you to get there, right? Whatever it is, it took that for you. Thank you, brother. I appreciate the positivity. Always, because here's my thing. Jose, sup, bro? Posh, you play. Freedom is free, not bought. Freedom is free if you want to live in a certain way. Otherwise, you have to grow it, right? So like, Josh has his freedom. Josh is like, this is what I need. I know what I need for my life. Maybe a couple of $100. Maybe a couple of $100 a week takes care of me. I get some food. I'm in the sun. You know, The coldest it ever gets is in the 50s. When it gets that cold, I'll buy a jacket, I have a tent. I live like I'm good. I'm near the water every day. This is the life for me. I'm happy with that life. So when you talk about freedom, you're talking about freedom the way you want to see it, not freedom the way it's prescribed by someone else, because we all have a different degree of freedom. We all have different things that we say are important to us, or the life that we want to live. Good morning. How are you doing, Randy? Welcome in. Grandmother said, don't know what that means. TYT says, you can't complete your diploma here. They won't let you. Here where? Where are you? I think I missed something. Walker said, God bless you. God bless you. Ryan said, everyone in the chat wants you to all have a productive day. And here's what I'm trying to share with you guys. It doesn't matter if you're homeless. It doesn't matter if you got a job on Wall Street. It doesn't matter if you're a banker. It doesn't matter if you work at McDonald's. I don't care what it is. You have to decide for you what the life is for you. And then you choose what is freedom for you. Some people want to be able to travel to the Mediterranean, want to be able to take a tour in Africa. Some people just want to lay on a field and look at the stars. Some people want to get a lifted truck and a ranch. It's different for different people. And so freedom is about where you are in your life, but you have to figure out how much does it take for me to get there. It might take a little or it might take a lot, but I need to get there, right? And that's what I'm trying to say, is that when you apply discipline to achieving your goals and you're trying to get somewhere and you actually work on getting there, now we're talking about seeing growth. Joshua says, yeah, I think society says how you're supposed to live, but it's all about perspective and relative to your own circumstances and goals. True, you can work in sales if you get me a bachelor. You don't need a bachelor to work in sales. Tom, it's just so hard nowadays. Tom, what's so hard nowadays? Cliff says, I have zero discipline. You started with, hey, it's a black guy. I have zero discipline. Your lack of discipline is what stopped you from being able to put in the previous comment, hey, it's a black guy. Where's that lack of discipline at, Cliff? Big said, you're not a nigger. You actually are a nice black man. Keep growing, man. Thank you very much for that. Cliff, you nailed it. Hey guys, here's the thing. I don't do a lot of, I believe I have all of the moderation in my chat turned off. I don't have anybody who comes in here and kicks people out. I don't do any of those things. My focus, as I said before, is about motivating, encouraging, and helping people build and achieve the life they want to see for themselves. That process, as we've been talking about this morning, is all about the life you want for you. I cannot prescribe your life for you. I can't. I can talk to you about some general behaviors that can help you achieve some goals, but I can't tell you what's right for you. I can't tell you who you need to be. I can't tell you how to get there. I can't do any of those things for you. So what does that mean? It means what I can do is offer a degree of knowledge and acknowledgement, offer a degree of advice and encouragement. And I do know if there's something you want to achieve, the best way to achieve it is with discipline. You start with repetition. Joshua, if you're living on the beach, let me know, do you surf? Because if you do surf, it took discipline to get there. You had to start doing it, keep doing it, and keep doing it until you were able to be great, right? You had to keep doing it until you got to the point where you could go from practicing skiing to practicing surfing to you boogie board, right? So you had to start somewhere. You had to start with repetition, and then you had to keep doing it. And then you learned how to do it. Then you had to practice. And then once you practice, you have to go from there. That's the beginning of discipline, repetition and patience. I'm not going to learn how to do everything the first day, but I'm going to start. And then you grow. And now you do this over a period of time. You develop consistency. Consistency says, I can now do this at a level. I can check things off. I have key performance indicators that I can check off when I'm doing my boogie board. to see if I'm doing it at a high level. This is what they use to create competitions. All of these things are going to be things that are going to help you in any area. And then you persevere. You keep doing it. You keep trying it. When you first moved to the beach, let me know, Josh, when you first moved to the beach, how difficult was it? Like, what was your transition from where were you at before you said, hey, I'm going to go live on the beach and boogie board? Yeah, my life is boogie boarding and bitches. Your life is the 3 B's, boogie boarding and bitches. All right, so what did you do before you went to live on the beach? Or pay me all of my rent? Who are you saying that to? Away to said Flo. Sock Thief says, hi, how are you doing? I'm not sure I said your name correctly. Right, so, and that's the thing, right? So it takes time for any of us to get anywhere we want to go. But when we apply discipline, it makes it easy to do. And when we talk about life margin, you have to understand, for Josh, his margin could be 40, 50%. Because he doesn't need much to live off of. He's not in a situation where he's saying, hey, I need $60,000 a year. I don't need that much money. So if you've significantly reduced your expenses, and this is the part of the conversation that I wanted to get into about being able to understand what your profit margin is, and the 3 steps to change it is 1, know what your income is. 2, know what your expenses are. 3, manage them. Those are the 3 steps. That's it. If you have an income and your income is not allowing for you to grow, it's because your expenditures are too high. Reduce them as low as possible. We have people here who say they're homeless. If you're homeless and you're working a job, I think most jobs nowadays, depending on the area you're in, the area I live in, Maryland has raised the minimum wage to $15. Most companies pay a little bit above that, somewhere around $17, but let's stay with $15. $15 is $150 for 10 hours. That means for 40 hours, you're gonna get yourself $600. 80 hours, you get $1,200. That means roughly for 2 weeks, so roughly for a month, 2 pay periods, you're gonna make about $2,400. Of that $2,400, you're probably gonna take home 75% of it. So you're gonna take home $75 out of every 100. Somebody please do that math for me. I don't have a calculator and I went too high with the numbers. And then you're gonna multiply that by 12 to see how much you make a year. But if you're making $2,400 a month, but out of that $2,400, let's say you're taking home $750 for every 1,000. So that's gonna be $1,500 and then another 300. So you're taking home about $1,800. Right, thank you very much. Thank you CBM so much. Jenny said 0. She said that's 0, you're not taking home anything. So you're taking home about $1,800. However, if you've got your expenses down, right? If your life cost at this $1,800 a month is $350, right? Let's knock the $50 off. Let's get it down to $300. I'm working with $1,500 a month. How many people making $60, $70, $80, $90,000 a year would like to say, hey, I got $1,500 cleared at the end of each month. I got $1,500 to do whatever I want to at the end of each month. Do you see what I'm starting to say? It's not about the income, it's about managing that margin. Right? And so now what you're doing is you're taking this number, you're taking your 300, you're subtracting it from your 1,800, it gives you 1,500. You're gonna now take this 1,500 and divide it by 1,800. Somebody please let me know, before I changed my life, I used to sit 1,500. All right, and so now somebody divide for me 1,500 by 1,800. Let me know what that number is. Let me know what that decimal is when you divide 1,500 by 1,800. Someone let me know what that is, then we can be able to move forward, because these are the things that it's going to let us know. So 260, I don't think that's right. divide 1,500 by 1,800. We should come up with a decimal. It should be a decimal that we convert to a percentage by multiplying by 100. I'm very weak in maths, as am I without a calculator. I swear it's the truth. Price said 3. Okay, so look, now that's what we're working with, right? So we have a 30% profit margin. If we take a look at the survey, 30% is where we start to hit growth. 30% is that area where we're able to say, hey, I can truly grow my finances from here because I have $1,500 a month that I don't need to use for anything. So here's the question. This is where the perseverance comes in. This is where the hard work comes in. This is where it starts to become the challenge. What can I do with this $1,500 to grow it? I can invest it. Can I start a business? Is there something I could do to turn this $1,500 a month into $1,750 a month? Can I keep this job I have and turn it into $750 a month? Right? $1,750. And then what can I do with that? It takes time, but what I'm trying to tell you is, it takes discipline. And I can't give you the specifics because, as Stephen says, it was I believe it was Stephen who was like, he has a battle with alcoholism. He has a battle with that. That is a separate thing because that also has to be overcome. You also have to fight through that. And this is why perseverance is so important on the discipline part. So we're not just talking about, oh, well, everybody can follow this same map. No, everybody can follow is discipline. But getting to your destination, we're all starting from different places. You can't tell everybody who's trying to get to the beach, drive straight for 1.5 miles and make a right. You can't tell that to everyone because we're not all starting from the same place. We might all be trying to get to the same place, but we're not all starting from the same place. But we do understand in order for us to get there, we have to travel. And that's what discipline does, is discipline helps you move. Discipline helps you be able to devise this plan and to be able to know the steps and the actions you need to take in order to achieve your goal. We're not talking about just I just want to do this, maybe I'll get there. No, you're going to find the beach. You're going to be on the side of a dry lake in Arizona. You need to know where you're trying to get to, and then you need to know, how do I get there? You need to be able to read a map. You need to know what the plan is. You need to be able to set a course. And that's what we talk about here. I want to thank everybody for being here so far. Hey guys, if you haven't done so yet, please drop a thumbs up. I appreciate it. And it doesn't cost you anything at all. It would be great. Also, if you've seen anything you've liked, you've read any comments, you've enjoyed anything that's been said, please do so. Also, I am live. This is not pre-recorded. I am not AI. This is me. This is all me. Today is August the 29th. It is Friday, and I'm on the East Coast of the United States, and right now it's 5:10 in the morning, people. So thank you for being here. As you check in, please let me know where you're checking in from, what time of day it is, where you are. I appreciate you having here. And we're talking about margins, people. We're talking about, I believe in living your life as a business. And when you live your life as a business, it does not matter where you start at. It matters what you do, with what you have. And that's how we build. So there are so many different things, there's so many different avenues for people. And we've had quite a few people in here talk about being homeless. One of the things that's important for me is to make sure that I'm acknowledging that part of my process is to help in that space. Monwari said, very good. Nastia said, who are you? I'm Oropo Bird. I hope I just answered that question. Ban said, Zach. Okay, I don't know who Zach is. What's up, bruv? That's from Zero. What's up? Mom said 2:10 a.m. Where are you at? That sounds like you're on the West Coast. It's in the morning. It's in the morning here as well. Steven says, I subscribe, profit margins. Thank you for the subscription. And profit margins are definitely what we're working on. We're working on that in our life because it allows us to grow from there. Right, and so here's something simple I want to share with you guys when we talk about investments. This is a life principle because it goes towards who we are, where our future is, what our goals are, what we're trying to achieve. So no business takes money out of a business. Understand that. If you ever have a business, or you know someone who has a business, and they say you can achieve something by taking money out of the business, they're wrong. No business takes money out of a business. All you do is invest in business. Now, your business can create these profit margins, which may generate profits for you that you're allowed to use, but you don't take money out of the business. Let me explain to you what I'm saying with this. If you invest $5,000 and then that $5,000 grows to $7,000, you now have $2,000 that is more than what you put into it. The business is still $5,000. You still have $5,000 in there. That $2,000, you can rightfully say, hey, I'm gonna pull it, I'm gonna get paid taxes on it, I'm gonna pay the taxes on it, whatever the situation may be. Or you can say, hey, I'm gonna take 500, I'm gonna leave 1,500 in. I'm investing this 1,500 back into the business. Now the business has 6,500 invested in it. Now, next time you come back, boom, we're sitting at 8,000 bucks. It's the difference between the 6,500 and the 800. And the 8,000 that's going to be yours. I believe that's like 1,500 bucks. Why is this important? Because so many of us are putting our money in places where the expectation is to close the business and just not die broke. We're putting them in 401ks so we can pull off the 401k when we're 59. And then once we start pulling off the 401k, the thing is, it just needs to make it until I die. We're retiring because people are telling us to retire. Does anybody know what the retirement age in the United States is? Can anybody share that with me? Fall Guy says, big guy, homo love from India. All right, India. Sharm's dead. But what should I do about my, come on, Sharm. Retirement age, sign. They want to raise it to 69. Kiran says 65, correct. 65 is the retirement age, right? So 65 is the retirement age in the United States. Does anyone know why 65 is set as the retirement age in the United States? They're pushing it up to 69. They want to push it up to 69. Does anybody know what was the reason for retirement in the United States? Do we know why they even have a retirement in the United States? Bro, he said, bro, since you read my comment, I'm subbing. Not a problem. Steven says, no, he doesn't know. Bro, that's my favorite. You keep saying that. Charles says, do share, I'm all ears. The reason we have a retirement age is because when we were moving into the industrialized age, there were a lot of young people who couldn't find work because we were at a point where the people who built the country could only survive by working. There was no, like everyone had been paid to the point of you don't work, you don't eat. So all everyone knew from hundreds of years of this country being in place is you work. That's what you do. The majority of the population worked. They weren't rich, they weren't financiers. There were poor farmers, there were poor carpenters. It didn't matter if you were black, white, Polish, Greek, Mexican, El Salvadorian. Didn't matter where you were from. Didn't matter if you were Chinese, Japanese. Didn't matter how you got here. Everyone at that time worked. You worked until you died. And when you died, your family suffered. That's how everyone lived. And there were young people, 22, 23, 24 years old, who were like, I can't find a job because 73-year-old Zeke is over here hammering nails and they're not gonna get rid of him because I can't do it the way he does it. I can't get a job. So what did the young people start doing? They start forming gangs. They was like, listen, dude, if I can't get it, I'm gonna take it. So gangs started to proliferate in big cities. This is where we get the stories of Bonnie and Clyde. This is where this whole ideal of robbing the poor to give to the rich. I mean, robbing the rich to give to the poor. I'm sorry, I said that backwards. The whole ideal of robbing the rich to give to the poor. It came from this because young people couldn't find work, and the only way to survive was to rob. To get old people out of work, the United States says, fine, we're going to give something to old people so you can retire and enjoy the rest of your life. Here's the thing. Life expectancy at the time that Social Security was put in place was 50. The retirement age was set at 65. So many people lost children at childbirth that the freaking life expectancy was 50. So many people died so young that literally the government was banking on, you're not going to live to be old enough to get this money. And that's how we're going to build the system. That's how that process began. It was a process designed to get old people out of the workforce so that young people could get into the workforce. Who's spamming my chat? Europe problems is not world problems. World problems is not Europe problems. Okay, you said it, I read it. Are you done? Jesus Christ, I just walked through a spider web. Spider webs are everybody's problems. Be careful where you're walking. Cha said, knowledge is power. What are we going to do with this knowledge to help us make better financial choices? So I'll talk to you about that. That's how averages work. Water Dog says that. I cannot say your name. Yami Gaming. Would LeBron James beat Rosa Parks? Come on, dude. I'm not saying that. So here's the thing, guys. When we're talking about, when we come to an understanding and we have this knowledge, now we have to think, okay, so what's the goal? So what am I doing? What am I working towards? What am I building? Who am I building it for? And you have to understand, that's why I keep saying, it doesn't matter where you're starting from. It doesn't matter. It's about creating that profit margin and then making it grow. And you can invest, I'm telling you, $1,500 a month clear to build with. Just start, man, get one of these apps on your phone to do investing and put it in there. I'm telling you, invest in anything that America has told you is too big to fail. America told you that all the big banks are too big to fail. Invest in them. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what happens with them. Guess what? The United States has already told them, if something happens and you guys go belly up, we got you. That means that your shares are safe. That means that your investments are safe. These are as good as US-backed bonds. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So now you're starting to look at being able to grow your money. We don't have to get into, man, dude, we don't have to get into the complexities of ETFs and schedules and returns. Like, you don't have to get into that. You don't. You need to invest your money in things that are solid, things that have been around for years and produce something and aren't going anywhere. These are the things that you get involved and you take part. We have to learn that it takes discipline to do any of these things. Discipline is the key. Repetition. That means you practice enough with patience until you build a skill. Once you build a skill and you understand that you've built it, now you know how to do it better, you can do it more consistently. It's already starting to multiply. And then perseverance is going through what you have to go through to get there. How long can you live in a truck? How long can you go through the ordeal? How long can you continue to build? Eric says, toggled. Kyron said, preach, man. Financial literacy needs to be taught. It does. Financial literacy does need to be taught. Here's the thing. As I was saying earlier, the reason we have a retirement age in the United States was to create a space for young people to work. It wasn't because this country was so magnanimous that it felt like, oh my goodness, we love old people. Let's get our old people a safety net for security. Retirement wasn't built for you to be able to have a safety net and grow. Retirement was built for you to keep eating that same can of beans and bag of bread until you die. Listen, you worked hard. This is how they told you. Dude, you worked hard. You started working at 14. You're 74. You worked for 60 years. Take a little time off. Sit in your house and die. And we're going to give you some change until you do. That's what the retirement was designed for. Because we got a 24-year-old. He's 10 years older than you were when you started working as a carpenter, and he can't find a job. The world is changing. The world is changing again. Now we have 12-year-olds starting companies. Is that person going to retire? Why do you stop making money? Why do you take money out of a business? You don't. You grow it. You put it into a trust. You put it into a legacy so it can continue to provide after you're gone. That's purpose. We talk about the homeless and we say, hey man, well I'm good, I just need enough money. And then we turn around and say, man, it's horrible what's happening to the homeless. Well, stop being good. Continue to grow your wealth so you can change the plight of the homeless. See, it's really good mouth service, right? We really talk about it. I've had people come in and talk about other countries, things that are going on. I'm not in Gaza. I'm not in Europe. I'm not in South Africa. I'm not in Kenya. I can't address those things. And I don't have the money to have that fight. But guess what? By growing my wealth, by changing my mindset, the things that matter to me, I now have the ability to impact with my financial status. We have to stop playing games and acting like we care about things that we're not willing to put the time in to change. And oftentimes, the time to change those things is in an investment in our investments. You're sitting here and we're talking about growing legacy, growing words, growing wealth, looking at our profit margins, and then we have all of these things that we care about, but we don't have any way of impacting them. Because we're living on 10% margin. I don't have money. There are higher levels. There's 50, 70, 80% margins. When we start talking about making so much money, when we start talking about who's ever seen Brewster's Millions? I think they had another version of it. Basically, Mr. Deeds was another version of it. Brewster's Million was an old movie. Richard Pryor did it many years ago, right? Richard Pryor said, in this movie, they gave Richard Pryor $30 million or something. Like he had a fortune, 300 million, but he had to spend a certain amount of million in like 30 days or something like that. He did ridiculous stuff. He bought stamps that were supposed to be collector's item, and he mailed them. He bought all types of things. He had an office done. He just wasted money, and it was hard. He bought cars, he bought jewelry, he hired assistants at ridiculous compensation because he couldn't show anything for this money once he was at the end of this challenge. This is what I'm talking about in our life. I'm talking about today is about profit margins. Profit margins is how much of your money in your life stays in your life. You take your income, you subtract your expenses, you divide that by your income after taxes. That's going to give you your profit margin percentage. And then you look at the survey, you look at the survey, the poll that was put up, and it'll tell you which area you fall into and whether or not you should be growing, exceptional growth, or whether or not you're surviving. These things are important because all of these things tie to other things. But we can't be anywhere until we're disciplined because we can't achieve the goals. So the scenario in Brewster's Million, the reason I brought it up is because he tried hard to spend like $30 million in 30 days. This is the part of living a life where you understand the purpose of money is to make more money. And when you put that money to work, you can put your energy, your time, your focus, your thoughts, and your money towards the things that you say are important to you, towards the causes that you say matter to you. I care about the homeless. Show me. Oh man, all I got is $10. Okay, I tell you what you do. You take that $10, help main man out, but now you go and you grow the rest of your money. You start growing some money. So by next year, I want that 10 to be 100. I want you to be able to drop main man $100 or give 10 people $10, right? Then you put the rest of your money to work. And now I want that to turn into 1,000. So you can give main man 1,000 or you can give 100 people 10. See, when we start talking about caring about things and building things and growing things, we have to do it with discipline. We can't just give it lip service. And when we talk about creating margins, which is what we're talking about this morning, it's specifically about money. It's specifically about you being able to work with your finances. And it doesn't matter how much you're starting with. It matters what you're doing with it. Thank you so much for being here today, guys. I appreciate everyone. Let me check out the comments. Eric said, great advice, bro. Me, maybe dividend stocks. Cool. Akash is saying stop. Okay, Akash, not gonna stop, but thank you for throwing up the signs. Still not hearing go to the gym and work. That's a different one. We're talking about finances today, but you could do that as well, Akash. Kinger said, there's no motivation here. Kinger said he's reading. So the thing about the motivation, guys, is this. It's an interpretation thing. I do want to appreciate you guys for staying, though. I want to appreciate you guys for coming, participating in the chat, showing the love and showing the hate. I appreciate it because it's all a part of a bigger goal. It's all a part of the growth. It's all a part of everyone being able to understand the purpose they play and move towards that goal. For me, guys, we're growing the channel. Currently, we're just below 2,400 subscribers. We're trying to get to 2,500. We're still working towards monetization as well. We need to get the watch hours. We're just below 1,800 watch hours. So we need about 1,230 watch hours. Those watch hours will get us to the monetization. And once we're able to do that, I'm able to offer some additional advice. I'm able to offer some additional guidance, some additional programs specifically for people who are people who are subscribed or who are part of the group, to be able to help you with these specific questions as to what to do, how to work with your finances, how to build your discipline. I appreciate everyone being here because it helps it. Now, for those of you guys who are here, if you do want to support now, there are ways in the bio. You can see now BNV, our merch is now open on Spreadshop. You'll find the link in the bio. You can go there, pick yourself up something. We got hoodies, caps, mugs, bags, whatever you want. Also, if you like to contribute directly to the channel, pinned in the chat today is the Cash App where you can make donations directly to the growth of the channel. I do want to thank Anthony's Turrell for her donation, and also Ryan Souza out in Hawaii for his donation. Thank you guys for donating to the channel. It's going to go directly towards the build, creating new and better content. I want to appreciate everyone for being here, talking this morning about margins, talking about how to live our life as a business, how to figure out margins, track margins, and use those margins to grow. We want to continue to understand that regardless of what we're working on or where we're working on it takes discipline. It doesn't matter if it's fitness, family, faith, no matter what it is. We need to have discipline to work on it. It starts with repetition. Repetition has to be followed by patience. Patience will then allow for you to create a plan that has consistency, and then will persevere. Perseverance is the thing that works on you. It's the thing that makes you who you need to be in order for you to see what you want to see. I appreciate everyone being here this morning. Again, it was a great talk. I'm glad we were able to share. Do not forget, simple calculation of your margins. It's your income minus your taxes, minus your expenses, divided by your income. When you do that, you see your margin that you're living by. It'll tell you exactly where you are. And make sure you divide this number by your take-home income, not your gross income. All right, guys, I want to appreciate everyone for being here. It's a great Friday morning. It looks like Deborah said, amen. Kinger said about the Knicks, baby. The Knicks. You want me to talk crap about the Knicks? Are you saying? I don't even, listen, I can't talk bad about basketball teams. I'm a Wizards fan. Listen, since like 73 or something, I can't talk bad about basketball. Stephen Noel, I like that comment. Can't make 10 and spend 10. Right, you're gonna end up with 0. Frank Hernandez, thanks for the free game, brother. Makes a lot of sense. Indeed, thank you for being here. Lee, go home. I'm on my way, Lee. I got kids to take care of. Donnie says, when your outgoing exceeds your income, right, your upkeep is your downfall. Oh, wow, I like the way it's spent. Yeah, Wizards, like hair grease, it's not even basketball season. I don't even want to talk about my football team. Y'all got to check out my other channel to hear me talk about my personal stuff. Stephen Noel, it's not how much money you make, is how much money you keep and how much you grow indeed. Hey, Rich, thank you. Everybody, the greater conversation is Rich. That's my brother out in Australia. Much love. God bless you as well. Guys, thank you so much for being here this morning. If you haven't had the opportunity, please like, subscribe, share. If you haven't double tapped that screen, go ahead, double tap, hit that like button wherever it is. Thank you all for being here. Keep in mind, the thing that we always need to keep doing, guys, say it with me if you know it. Keep showing up, keep blowing up, keep growing up. Until next time, guys, God bless. Take care.